Don't miss on WatchingJunkies.com. NFL great, Jerry Rice.
How nervous do you get when the cameras get on you on that par 3? What is that, 17 or whatever it is? And you know, like, okay, you play a lot of golf. You're serious about this, but it's not your profession, right? And we know how nervous most of us just get, the average hacker, like on the first tee when you got a starter and a group behind you.
Right.
You've got the whole country watching you, potentially. How nerve-wracking is that?
You know what, guys? Playing with Justin and playing with Alfonso, I didn't realize I was on the 17th tee, to be honest with you, because, there was so much, we were having so much fun and we were talking about so many different things. But when it's time to hit that shot, you got to be able to just zone out and try to, hit the target. There's so much going on the beach. There's so much going on in the gallery. But, it's the same thing just like in football. You had to, be able to zone out and just focus on that football.
But can we talk about your son for a second? Because your son was here with the Redskins last season, and I think he had a torn labrum ultimately, and they had to let him go. I don't know what the status of him is now. Maybe you can give us an update. He played college football, I think, at UNLV, correct?
Yeah, he did, and, with the Washington Redskins, they gave him the opportunity, but he tore his labrum, and he was done for the season. And I was like, oh, my God, because I wanted him to get into training camp, and I wanted him to experience that. And, I felt when he came back this year that they would make a move like that. They decided to release him. So we're looking forward to maybe some Canadian football to get him some experience where he can work his way back into the NFL. But, this kid is really working hard, and I think he needs an opportunity, and I keep pushing him and trying to encourage him.
What was his take on the Redskins in this organization, which has been accused of so much dysfunction over the years? And then I want to get what was his take on the quarterback situation here?
Well, you know what? He was real positive. He felt like he could really contribute to that team. When you look at the Washington Redskins right now, I don't think it's just RG3. There's a lot happening because you got to have time to sit back in that pocket and assess what's happening downfield and deliver the football. And it doesn't look like he's really comfortable back in that pocket right now, and he doesn't really have that much time to throw the ball downfield. So the offensive line, somehow they got to start working more as a cohesive group and give him time to deliver the football.
Talking to all-time great Jerry Rice, had over 1,500 catches in his career, 208 touchdowns, just, the best receiver that we've ever seen. When you talk about time in the pocket, though, we see him on a day-to-day basis, and we see times when he does have time, but he doesn't know how to kind of handle himself in the pocket. You played with an all-time great in Steve Young, who had some of the similar abilities that Robert has in terms of his ability to run. How long did it take him to figure out how to kind of stay in the pocket and hang in there versus taking it off and running?
Well, guys, we didn't have the read option, and we didn't have all that stuff back when, Steve Young and also Montana when they played the ball. So they had to be really a student of the game and being able to come to the line of scrimmage and read exactly what the defense is doing to them and getting rid of the football. Joe never held on to the ball. Steve was the same way. When Steve first came into the league, he was more of a running quarterback. Then he wanted to become a better pocket passer. So he was able to make that adjustment. But it starts up front. If the offensive line is giving you time to assess what's happening downfield, then you can make the right decision and throw the football. And as a receiver, my thing is all about running routes, getting separation where the quarterback, where he doesn't have to hold on to the football. I don't think a lot of receivers really work on their route tree today where they get really separation. So the quarterback, they might have to hold on to the ball just a little bit more.
Jerry, what would you have done in Chip Kelly's offense?
I would just wore my opponent out because I was one of those guys that I loved being on the ball. I was, always in tip-top shape, and I would have just, wore my opponent out around the third or fourth quarter. And, it's an exciting offense, and I think they have great potential this year.
What would be the biggest attribute you'd look for as a receiver, as the all-time great receiver in a quarterback? What was the number one thing you wanted your quarterback to have?
The number one thing for me, I always adjusted to my quarterbacks, their strengths. You know, say with Steve Young when he first came in, the things that I did with Joe Montana, I couldn't do with Steve Young, so I had to adjust
like
to
what?
him.
Like what?
You know, say with Steve probably just being a little bit more crisp when I ran my routes. You know, and not saying I didn't do that with Joe, but, you know, I just felt with Steve I needed to get more separation because Steve was one of those quarterbacks that if you didn't get separation, you know, this guy would just take off and start running the football. And all of a sudden you see this blur come by you, and it was Steve Young going by you. So I wanted to make sure I got great separation from the defensive back where he could deliver the football and you know, just doing little things like that. And I think it really also it made me more conscious of being a receiver.
Jerry, we saw that Reggie Wayne, who's 37, signed with the Pats this week. Do you fist pump when the graybeards, when the old guys get the deals like that? And you look at Wayne, he already has 1,070 catches in his career. He's seventh on the all-time receptions list. If he just manages 33 catches in 2015, he's going to be third all-time.
Yeah. You know, I think Reggie Wayne and what he has done for the game of football, he loves the game. He still wants to play, and I think he's going to do a fantastic job with the Pats. You know, he's going to be more of a mentor when he goes in there, so that's an adjustment. You know, just like when I left the Oakland Raiders, then I went into Seattle. You know, I knew that my role would just diminish just a little bit, and I had to be more of just a role model, so I'm sure he's willing to make that transition and pass that knowledge on to those younger receivers.
So, Jerry, you've gotten into coaching. You are a Lysol Healthy Habits coach. Fill us in.
Yeah, guys, I'm the Lysol Healthy Habits coach, and this is my second year, and I think it's very important that you pass on to kids the importance of healthy habits and set them up for success in class, in school, and beyond. And, you know, when you wash your hands, fewer germs are spread and less time is missed from class. And when you're in class, you're still continuing to learn, and that can lead to better grades. Also, it helps with sports team practice. And that could lead to a stronger team and a better record. And this season, I went searching for America's healthiest team. It's a group of high school student athletes across the country, and they have incorporated healthy habits into their routine and in search of academic and also athletic performance. And I'm doing this workshop with Lysol Healthy Habits here in New York, and I'm going to put them to the test in their own individual sport. So this is why I'm part of Lysol Healthy Habits, and I think it's something that we need to address and let kids know that they need to really practice good habits.
Are you sure your son never told you that Robert Griffin III was trifling?
You just had to run back to that. But
are you sure?
I always try to make my quarterbacks better. That was the thing I really focus on.
Didn't he just tell you, though, look, Kirk's actually a little bit better. He's more accurate.
Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it. Okay?
He's got it.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's NFL Hall of Famer Jerry Rice.
Thank you.